Hi class, this is Miss Stephanie and hope you guys are doing okay. This is for our junior high Latin and I'm doing a video so that when you have electricity and when you have time, you can watch this before you come back to class next week. So we've been super good at studying third declensions, neuter, masculine, and feminine. And we've had our test over those. Those who were absent, please don't forget to take those tests and bring them back on Tuesday. And what we're going to do next is we're going to move on to lesson 24. And lesson 24, surprise, is just a review. So it's everything that you've already learned concerning third declension nouns. Third declension nouns. So what I'm going to have you do is open in your small blue textbook to page 62, which is lesson 24. And at the same time, you can have your textbook open, your workbook open, okay, to lesson 24, and that's on page 125. This video is going to be a little bit shorter than our normal class, and if you have absolutely any questions, you can always email me, and as soon as I can, I'll answer them. Okay, so I'm looking at your blue textbook, and that's again page 62. Now the Latin saying this week is Rex Regum, which means King of Kings. Jesus Christ, right? Rex Regum. And at the chart at the top of your page, they're giving you an example of both endings that you've learned. Masculine, feminine have the same. Nominative changes, east, E-M-A-S, e-boos, s, e-boos. Okay, remember? And remember that in third declension, it's not easy just to figure out, oh, that's a girl, that's a boy. It is if it's like frater or mater. But there's some words you don't know what the gender would be, and so you need to memorize it in dictionary format, which means nominative case, genitive case, and the gender. So for example, it would be canis, canis, male or female, because that means dog, and there are boy dogs and girl dogs. Another would be caput, capitis, neuter. So that was head in nominative case, capitis in genitive, where we get the stem, and then it's gender neuter. Let's do another one. Crux, crucis, feminine, means cross. The reason we need to know the gender is when we add an adjective in front of it, and our adjectives have three endings. Remember, bonus, bonum, bona. Bonus masculine, bonum neuter, and bona feminine. And we want to make sure that when we put that in front of or behind a noun, a third declension noun, that we have the right gender on our adjective. Okay, so these are all review. They're in your lessons from 21 and lessons 22 and lessons 23, and now you get to put them together and review it. So at the top of page 62 is the King of Kings, Rex Regum, and also a nice big chart that shows you third declension with masculine, feminine, and divided in half compared to neuter. Now the neuter is almost the same endings, but not quite. You have to really pay attention to nominative case, which is the subject, and accusative case, which is direct object in a sentence. And how it is, the example is nomen, which means name. So in plural, you would have an A at the end of it, so nomina. And that's the same in nominative case and accusative case. So it would be nomen, nomen, and the ending a, meaning single nomen, a, plural. Nomen a, nomen a, nominative, accusative. Okay, let's talk about accusative. What does accusative mean? Well, the subject, let's say the subject of the sentence is mother. Mother eats carrots. Mother is the subject, mater. Eats is our verb. And what does she eat? Carrots. That's the direct object, accusative case. Mother loves sister. Okay? We know the word for mother is mater, sister soror. And if you wanted, you would say mater, which is nominative case for subject. But soror would need to be an accusative case. And so were would be, have the EM ending. Remember? East, EMAS, ebus, ebus. There's a little bit of example of direct objects on page 63. We're going to go over this again when we come back to class, but I'm just going to give you something to think about. Subject is nominative case. Whatever does the action of the verb, receives the action of the verb, is direct object. Our teacher loves music. What does she love? Music. Our teacher eats chocolate. What does she eat? Chocolate. So direct object is accusative case, okay? All right, so we'll go over this again. When you go down to the middle of 62, it reviews the vocabulary words that you've learned for lessons 22 and 23, which are all the third declension, and they're in the masculine, feminine, neuter, and they're given to you in dictionary form. So you're going to see that, for example, mater, matrice, feminine. Remember, when we learn third declension, we always have to learn the genitive case. From the genitive case, we drop the IS and we get the stem that goes in front of all the other words. Okay, except there's an exception in neuter, and they show you the example so you can compare it together. Okay, so let's go quickly over to page 125, lesson 24 in our workbook. At the beginning, it says, how can you know the gender of a third declension noun? We can't know the gender. We have to memorize it, okay? Number 2, all nouns whose genitive singular ends in blank belong to third declension. How do we know it belongs to third declension? You go to the genitive. If it's IS at the end, it belongs to third declension. You might be thinking, Ms. McMillan, you're going through these fast, but you can. All these answers are in your textbook, and you can repeat this video and watch me over and over again. All right, number 3. In our workbook, there are 2 sets of case endings to learn for the third declension. Okay, one set is masculine, feminine, and the second set is neuter, okay? Okay, the neuter rule, give the neuter rule, and that was on our test last week. The neuter rule is that the nominative and accusative case are the same in singular and the same in plural, okay? So nominative and accusative are the same in singular, and in plural, they end in A. All right. Number 5 is a grammar question, and it says, give the usual word order for an English sentence, and it's subject, verb, direct object. Subject, verb, direct object. Okay, number 7, the subject of a verb is in the nominative case, and the direct object is in the accusative case. All right. Number 8, the to be verb blank is never followed by a direct object. The to be verb is soon. If I said Stephanie is good, you are renaming the subject. And so Stephanie's not doing an action. She's just being. Stephanie is good. Okay, that's the to be. We can talk about these things in person, but this is something for you to write down and kind of think about. Number 9, why is the genitive case used to classify a noun instead of the nominative case? Okay, basically they're saying, why do we have to look at the genitive case to know it's in third declension? Well, for cases like third declension, the nominative case is always changing. We don't know. It's not like how first declension ends in A and second declension ends in us and In third declension, the nominative case always changes. And so that's why we have to look at the genitive case. Okay, because the nominative case is always changing. In third declension, the nominative case changes. That's your answer. In third declension, the nominative case changes. Okay, let's go on. Every sentence is made of two parts, and it's called a subject and a predicate. A predicate is the verb and the rest of the sentence. So if I say, Stephanie goes to the store, Stephanie is the subject, goes to the store is the predicate. Okay. If I say Stephanie eats pizza is the predicate. The verb of that is eats. But anything with the verb and after is the predicate. This will not be on a test, but maybe extra credit. Never know. Okay, so skip number 11. Did you hear that? Skip number 11. And let's go back to page 126, the next page. The next page, 126, is your vocabulary. Okay, so I need you to do that as homework. Do page 126. For example, the first one is brother, and you would write frater, fratrice, and the gender is masculine. That's all you have to do. Write it in its nominative case, genitive case, give me its gender, just like you would see in a Latin dictionary. All right, so 126 is your homework. Okay, let's look at 127. There's a fill in the blank question. The predicate nominative and the predicate adjective are in the nominative case. Okay, we're going to have to go over this when we see each other, but the predicate nominative and the predicate adjective are in the nominative case. Okay, what's that saying? If you say, the mother is good, mother is the subject, she's nominative case. Good is describing mother, and so good also has to be a nominative case. It's not receiving any action. So predicate nominative, which is the subject, and its predicate adjective like good, bonus, are going to be in the same ending. If you say the cat is bad, cat is going to be a nominative case, and so is bad. Cat, catus, which you guys don't know, sorry, and bad, malus, are going to be the same. You're not going to put that in a direct object case because the cat is just being, remember. It's just being. If something is just being, is, are, am, then the noun describing it is going to be in the same case, nominative case. Okay, if I've blown your mind, don't worry about it. We're going to talk about this again next Tuesday when Snowgeddon is over. All right? So the two blanks are nominative, nominative, and the third blank is accusative, which is direct object. So Stephanie is good. Stephanie reads a book. Now we have two different sentences, right? So Stephanie is good is just describing me, renaming Stephanie. They're both going to be in nominative case, Stephanie and good. But if you say Stephanie reads a book, Stephanie is the subject, nominative case, reads is the verb, a book is receiving the action. Now, book is going to be in direct object, and that's accusative case. Okay. Let's see, there's a chart below, and just leave that blank, and we'll go over that little chart, the one that says nominative and accusative. We'll go over that chart in class. Let me take a look at that. But the chart below, let's see if we can work on that. The first word is, actually, let's read the blue right here. It says, for each word, give the nominative and accusative singular and plural. You might have to go back or write on a piece of paper your charts because some of these are going to be first declension and second declension and third declension. If you can't remember a vocabulary word, they're always in the back of your book, but you might have them on your flashcards, or you just might have to look it up, or you might know. For example, the first word is sailor. I know the word for sailor is nauta, N-A-U-T-A. I know that's first declension. Sailor, technically feminine, but not really, because remember there are no boy sailors, no women sailors in the Roman Navy, blah, blah, blah. But sailor is nauta, N-A-U-T-A. And then the plural of nauta would be A-E. Remember? A, room, east, us, east. So nata, and then A-E. Here's the trick. They also want to know the direct object. Direct object for first, second, and third declension, their ending always has an M in it. So, this is accusative singular. Room, is, as, is the plural. Remember, the singular has the M, not the plural. So it would be natam and natas. If you need to look at your chart and write it out, that's fine. If you get confused, we'll work on it in class on Tuesday. But try to do it. Okay, so the first answer, sailor, was nata with an A, nate with an AE, natam, AM, and natas, AS. Let's try number 2 together. Friend. I know the word for friend is amicus, and that is masculine second declension. So, amicus, I hope I didn't get you confused. Sorry about that. Us, o, o, room, is, os, is. Oh, o, room, is, os, is. Okay, look at your chart. And one more, temple, templum. Templum, I know, is neuter. So, again, it's the same, e, for the nominative case, singular and plural. And for the accusative case, it's going, no, I'm so sorry. I messed up. Is neuter. So it's right? Isn't that nice for you? Neuter is Very similar to third declension. So templum, templa, templum, templa. Look at your charts. See if you can do this chart right here. I think you can. So that's all for your homework this week. This week, go back and make sure you filled in the answers for 125. Right here that we went over the grammar answers for 125. This chart on page 126, and then flip it over, page 127. If you have any questions, give me a text or a call or email, and I'll be glad to help you. And stay safe, and we'll see you next Tuesday.